Hey YouTube, it's Sarah here with Crimson and Wool, and I'm coming at you with a highly requested video. I am finally going to be showing you a new basic doll pattern with some removable clothes. So today in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to do the hair as well as a removable dress. So as you can see here, we are easily able to remove the dress. There is a tie that will allow you to close it up and then you can remove it. That way you could change it however you want, depending on what style doll you would like to make. As you could see here, there's some color change so that you have some shorts and a little top and the shoes as well. As always, there is a pattern available through my Etsy shop. You can find that in the description box below. It will also have all of the supplies needed to make this doll. So the purpose of this video is to do a step-by-step tutorial on how to make it, but the written pattern will be available through my Etsy shop if that's what you're looking for other than just the video. So let's go ahead and grab all the supplies we need to make this, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get started with the arms and get those done and out of the way. You're going to start with a magic circle and work 6 single crochets into that magic circle. Then go ahead and pull the tail end to close the gap, and let's get started on rounds 2 through 9. So rounds 2 through 9 are simply 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Go ahead and grab a stitch marker. I'm going to be working round 2, so just 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. But I like to take my tail yarn and get it out of the way, so I'm going to go ahead and do about 2 knots, use my finger to get that real close and tight, and then snip my yarn. So after everything's all cleared and out of the way, I'm just simply working 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. That is going to finish round 2. So we'll go ahead and speed up this video and just work the next 7 rounds. So again, the length of the whole arm is 9 rounds. We've completed round 1 and 2. And now rounds 3 through 9, we are going to work a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. I will let you go ahead and work those rounds, and I will meet you back at the end of round 9. Alright, so I went ahead and finished all 9 rounds. We're going to pinch the arm closed now and work 2 single crochets over both sides. So there's 1 single crochet, and then inserting my hook through both sides of the arm and closing off with another single crochet. Now cut a tail long enough to sew onto the body, and then you're going to make another arm the same exact way, and then we will go ahead and get started on the legs. Alright, so now we're going to start with the shoe color. I've chosen brown, and we're going to start, as always, 6 single crochets into a magic circle. And then pull your tail end to bring that together, and we're going to move on to round 2. So round 2 is an increase round, 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around, and that will give you a total of 12 stitches for round 2. Alright, so after you've finished round 2, we're going to start round 3. And we're going to be working 1 single crochet into the back loop only of every stitch. That's going to give you a total of 12 stitches for round 3. And as you can see here, I'm working in the back loop only. And you're going to work that all the way around. Alright, so round 4 is going to have a few decreases. We're going to work a single crochet into the first 2 stitches. And then I'm going to work 4 single crochet decreases. I like to work my decreases into the front loop only. So I'm going to work 4 of those. And then I'm going to work a single crochet into the last 2 remaining stitches. That's going to leave us with a total of 8 single crochets. But I like to do my color change into the last stitch of the round. So what you see here is I've worked half the stitch, so I'm going to show you again. You insert your hook into the last stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then you're going to grab your color change. So I'm obviously changing to a skin tone. And I'm going to grab that and I'm going to pull that through those 2 stitches. And that's going to complete our color change for the next round. Round 5, we're going to be working 3 single crochets. And then we are going to work a single crochet decrease. So I like to work that into the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to finish off the round with 3 single crochets. That's going to give us a total of 7 single crochets for round 5. All right, so once I've completed that last stitch, I like to get this color change tails out of the way. So I'm going to tie about 2 knots, and then I'm going to cut the yarn and push all of that into the foot. Round 6 through 14 is 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and continue working the next 9 rounds, but I do want to remind you guys to stuff your leg as you work it up. If you forget, it's okay, you could definitely stuff after, but I find it a bit easier to get the shape more on point when I stuff as I go. So I have worked up the whole leg. Now what we're going to do is fasten off. I'm going to show you what I like to do. So I'm going to cut a short tail. And I'm going to pull that through. I haven't slip stitched or anything. I'm going to take my hook and bring it through the back of the leg and pull that tail in. I'm going to push all of that into the leg itself. That's how I kind of like to fasten off. I think it's easier to work into the stitch itself that way. Now you're going to want to work up another leg the same exact way. Here we go. I have both of them together. And now we are going to join the legs together to start working up the body. So you're going to have a color change for that. So you're going to want to grab the color that you're going to work for the short part and the top part, which I went ahead and matched it with the shoes. So I like to take the legs and make sure that they're facing both the same way. The back is even. Grab your hook. And then you're going to insert it through the leg on the inside and then pop it through the next leg. Grab your yarn and you are going to join that together with a slip stitch. 15 is 15 stitches evenly around. What I'm doing here is I'm working a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then I'm going to get the 2 tail yarns and I'm going to tie those together and get those out of the way. So I'm going to continue to work 1 single crochet into each stitch. It's going to bring me around to the front of the legs. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to be working the 2 stitches in the middle. So when we join the legs together, we have 2 stitches right there. We're going to be working a single crochet into each of those stitches. So you're going to see here I'm working a single crochet there, going into the next leg, working a single crochet into that stitch. Then you're going to continue to work a single crochet into each stitch around the other side of the leg. And then we are working 2 single crochets into the last stitch. That's going to give us a total of 15 stitches. I am working a single crochet into the next stitch for the round. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble there, but I just kind of want to get that fastened while I go ahead and give you a look at the legs. All right, so I hope that helped. Basically, round 15 is 15 single crochets evenly all the way around. I hope that slowing it down and showing you how I worked it helped. Let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the rounds. Round 16 is up next. Round 16, so we've kind of already worked that stitch, but if you haven't, I worked the first stitch, which is a single crochet, put my stitch marker in place, and then just working a single crochet into each stitch all the way around, leaving you with a total of 15 single crochets for round 16. Round 17, we are going to be working a half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. As you continue working this round, I want you to be aware that we are going to color change into the last stitch of the round. So grab your skin tone color of yarn, and then prepare to work the last stitch, the last half double crochet into that round. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook because you're working the half double crochet. Grab your skin tone, and then you are going to pull that through all 3 loops. And then you're going to grab both of the brown and that tail yarn and kind of tighten it up there. I like to kind of tie it off. Make sure you don't tie it super tight, but tight enough so that it's secure. But don't cut the brown yet, okay? Because we're going to be using that for that top section of the body. All right, so for round 18, you're going to be single crocheting into each stitch, but we're going to be working into the 3rd loop. So I'm trying to get this a little closer for you guys so you could see where the 3rd loop is. Now you have those front 2 loops. Behind that is a stitch that is created when you make a half double crochet. And as you could see here, you could see it when you work that first stitch. When it starts to roll over, you're able to see that 3rd loop. I've done this multiple times in my other tutorials. I don't know what it is about that brown, and it's just kind of harder to see. So if this video isn't helping as much, some of my other tutorials for this might help a little bit better, but it's just a single crochet into the 3rd loop of every stitch. That's going to leave you with a total of 15 single crochets for round 18. And here is a look of what it should look like so far. Round 19 is simply a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. And note that we will be working a color change into the last stitch of this round. So that brown that we didn't cut off, that was from the shorts, is the color change that we will be working into the last stitch of round 19. All right, so as usual for the color change, you're going to start the last single crochet into the last stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. Now grab the brown and pull that through both loops. That is going to give us our color change. That brings us to rounds 20 through 21, working 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So you're going to go ahead and continue working the next 2 rounds. That will bring us to the end of round 21, where you will work a color change into the last stitch. Okay, so we're going to work our color change into that last stitch of round 21 as we have throughout this whole tutorial. So go ahead and switch that out and pull through your skin tone, moving straight into round 22, which is simply a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So at this point, I'm going to fasten that. I'm not going to work round 22 all the way. I think I'm going to take some time to stuff the legs. Also, at this point, we could go ahead and cut off that brown and tuck that in as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stuff the legs. So just a little tip as you see me working right now, I like to push the stuffing in on one side of the leg and then get some more stuffing, turn the body and push the stuffing on the other side of the leg. And I kind of go back and forth feeling to make sure I'm not overstuffing or understuffing. And so that's kind of what you're going to see me doing right here. I've just kind of sped the video up and I'm stuffing the leg area to make sure that it's nice and firm but not overstuffed. All right, so now that we have that done, we are going to finish round 22, single crocheting into each remaining stitch all the way around, and I will meet you back to start round 23. All right, so what we're going to do is work 7 single crochet decreases. Then we're going to have 1 remaining stitch for the round. We'll work a single crochet into that, and that will give us a total of 8 single crochets for round 23. All right, now that we're moving on to working up the head, we are going to work an increase round. So we're going to be working 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around. Go ahead and place your stitch marker, that way you keep track. And then you'll just continue working 2 single crochets into each stitch. That's going to give you a total of 16 stitches for round 24. For round 25, we will have another increase round. You're going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around, and that's going to give you a total of 32 single crochets. All right, now we see that we have up to round 25 completed, and we are going to go ahead and stuff the body a little bit more before we continue on. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that, again, I'm stuffing enough but not overstuffing, as you could see here in the video. All right, so now we are going to work rounds 26 through 33. That is a total of 8 rounds, and we are going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. That's going to give us a total of 32 stitches for each round. Again, we're going to work 8 rounds total, and I will meet you here when we have finished up to round 33. All right, so now that we have finished those rounds, we are going to place the safety eyes. You're going to need 9mm safety eyes. You are going to place them between rounds 30 and 31, 5 visible stitches apart. So I line it up with the leg, I place the eye, and then I'm going to count 5 visible stitches and then place the eye into the next stitch, which would be the 6th stitch from the other eye. So as long as you see 5 stitches in between, that's what we are going for. And so go ahead and place your safety backings on, get those nice and secure, and then you are going to stuff. Make sure you stuff the neck really well for support, but you don't want to overstuff because you don't want to make it bulge out. You want to still have that definition. So now we're going to close up the head. Round 34 will be 2 single crochets and then a single crochet decrease. We're going to repeat that 8 times, and then that will give us a total of 24 stitches for round 34. Alright, so round 35 is 1 single crochet and a single crochet decrease. Repeat that all the way around, and that will leave you with a total of 16 stitches for round 35. Alright, so for round 36, you're going to simply decrease in each stitch all the way around. That's going to leave you with a total of 8 single crochets. So after you finish stuffing, you are going to cut off your yarn, and then you're going to want to grab a tapestry needle. You are going to close in this gap. So I simply just kind of wrap my needle around 2 stitches, pull through, wrap around 2 stitches, pull through, and kind of finish doing that all the way around. And once you get to the end, you're going to pull that tight and it's going to close that gap in for you. I like to utilize the tail end to create a nose. So I'm going to weave that through, and I like to go to the round just below the eyes. And place it between a stitch. And so as you could see here, sometimes it's perfectly even, sometimes it's off just a little bit, but just kind of stitch it on between one of those stitches, 1 row below the eyes. I usually do about 3 rounds of looping it, and then I'm going to weave that in. And now I am grabbing some black yarn, and we are going to do some accents on the eyes. So what I like to do is I'm going to insert the black thread through the top of the head, and then I'm going to push that to the side of one of the eyes and insert it through the top corner. And so I'm going to be going between that stitch right there, and then I'm going to go over to the other side so that we could do the same thing on the other eye. So I'm going to go to the corner of the eye right there, and then I am going to go just above between another stitch right over there. And then you're going to see here what it looks like. And what I like to do at this point is weave that end back through the top, and I'm going to tie a knot. So the reason I do that is because we're going to have some hair placed there and you're not going to be able to see it. I just tie it off, and then it is out of the way. Now, if you wanted to have the hair removable or something, then you could just weave those in, but I just find it easy to do this. So next we're going to do the eyebrows. Go ahead and grab the color of your choice. I'm going to insert through the top again and then pop a stitch over and above that eye accent, and then I'm going to go up 1 and over 3. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. I'm going to pop that out. And then I'm going to go up 1 and over 3. Well, technically, I guess that's over 2. But you could do them bigger. Just kind of play with it. See what you like. That's what I do. Sometimes it's different each doll. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling like that day. So go ahead and tie that off, and then cut it off as well, just like we did before. All right, so now we're going to place the arms. I'm going to walk you through the first one and then speed it up for the second one. That way you get a good idea. So I like to line it up with the leg and then go right above where that bikini top is and place the arm there. And so what I'm doing is I'm securing it in place. I'm bringing it through the arm and then through the body, and then doing the same thing on the other side. So I get both sides secure, and then I work in the middle. And so I know this angle is a little funky, but I've done this part plenty of times in all my videos, and it's the same process every single time for placing the arms. So if you're having difficulty with this specific video, then I'm sure you might be able to find a little bit more detail in the other videos that I've posted. But it's pretty simple. You just want to secure it on right there. And so now we're going to weave that in and do the same thing on the other side for the other arm. And I'll go ahead and speed that up for you, and I'll meet you back after. I want to grab a 5mm crochet hook and your color choice for your hair. We're starting out with 6 single crochets in a magic circle. That's going to be round 1. Round 2 is going to be an increase round, 2 single crochets into each stitch all the way around for a total of 12 single crochets. At this point, I like to secure the tail end, and I'm just going to tie about 2 knots. I like to push my finger real close, that way it gets it nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and snip that off and get that out of the way. Round 3 is an increase round, 1 single crochet, and then a single crochet increase. You're going to repeat that all the way around with a total of 18 single crochets for round 3. Round 4 is another increase round. You're going to work 2 single crochets and then an increase. And that's the pattern repeat. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24 stitches for round 4. Round 5 is the last increase round. You're going to work 3 single crochets and then an increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 30 stitches for round 5. All right, so for round 6 through 11, you're going to work a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. That's going to give you a total of 30 stitches for each round, and you're going to be working that for a total of 6 rounds. So go ahead and work up the next 6 rounds, and I will meet you back at the end of round 11. So now we are going to be working up the hair strands. You are going to start with a chain 15, then you are going to skip the first stitch and single crochet into the second stitch. You're going to single crochet all the way down the chain, including that chain stitch that was created when you started the chain. And then what you're going to do is you are going to skip one stitch and slip stitch into the next. Now you have completed a hair strand, and you are going to repeat that 14 more times. So you have a total of 15 hair strands all together. So I'll just kind of repeat that. You're going to chain 15, single crochet into the second chain from the hook, continue to single crochet all the way down the chain, including that stitch that was created when you started the chain. Then you are going to skip a stitch and slip stitch into the next stitch, and repeat that for all hair strands. All right, so I am finishing off the last hair strand. That's the 15th one, creating a slip stitch, and then I'm gonna cut off enough yarn to be able to weave in or actually sew the cap onto the head, and then also to be able to stitch some of the hair pieces in place. So what I like to do here is kind of stretch the cap out just a little bit, and then I'm gonna try it on the doll. And I'm gonna just make sure that it is placed correctly, that it has a nice fit, and then kind of play around with how I would like to position the hair strands. All right, so this might be controversial, but I personally like to hot glue the inside of the wig cap down, and so I'm going to place some glue in there. You could definitely just stitch it, but I find that it creates a better seal to the head when I do that. And so I am going to position that on and then go ahead and get the cap pushed down into place. And then I like to flip it and kind of like mold to make sure it's fitting the head nice, and so that there's not like low lumps and bumps before it completely sets. All right, so now I'm going to stitch around the edge to get it stitched down. So what I do is basically a back stitch. I put the tapestry needle through and pull through and then go back all the way around. And so that way it gets it stitched in place, just a little bit extra security there. All right, so I am taking 2 strands on one side of the head, and I'm going to secure those down with the tail end. And then I'm going to take the other 3, so just kind of play with it, see what you like. Sometimes it's different each doll depending on how the hair strands fall. So I'm taking 3 strands and bringing it over like a bang. And then I'm going to wrap that tail around a few times to secure it in place, and then play with it. Each doll is different. So this part I'm just going to explain for you and tell you what I do, but it kind of takes some finessing and working with what you think would look good for that doll, because you might want to do a middle part, or you might want to do a real extreme bang like I did here. So just mess around with it and secure it down by just wrapping that tail end through. I'm going to go through to the other side and secure a few hair strands down over there. So as you could see, I moved that over. I probably should have had a little bit longer of a tail end, but I made it work. So as you could see, I'm just wrapping that through 1 or 2 times and securing that down in place. Normally, I'd probably want to have a much more secure fit, especially if this was a gift or something you'd like to sell. You want to make sure it's nice and secure, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to weave in the tail end that I have remaining. That way you can get a good idea. I'm having a little trouble there. Sometimes when you have the glue, you have to kind of work around that. So that's what you see there. So I'm just weaving that tail end through and snipping it off. So now I like to apply the blush. I'm going to go ahead and grab my blush brush, which is basically just a makeup brush, like an eye makeup brush, and then some blush, and I'm going to apply that to each cheek. All right, so you are going to want to grab the color choice for your dress and a 4mm crochet hook. We are going to start by making a chain of 29. Once you've completed that chain, you're going to work a single crochet into the second stitch from the hook. And so you will continue to work a single crochet into each remaining stitch all the way down the chain. That is going to leave you with a total of 28 stitches for that first round. All right, so for round 2, we're going to start to work to create the armholes for the dress. So you're going to work a single crochet into the first 4 stitches. So now you are going to skip 6 stitches, and then you're going to work 8 single crochets. So just make sure that you're not skipping 5 and working into the 6th stitch. You're definitely going to want to make sure you skip 6 stitches and then work into that following stitch, and you'll work 8 single crochets. Hope that makes sense. And then once you have completed the 8 single crochets, you are going to again skip 6 stitches. That will leave you with a total of 4 stitches remaining, and then you'll work a single crochet into the last 4 stitches. And that will give you a total of 16 stitches for round 2. And you're going to want to make sure that you chain 1 and turn. All right, so round 3 is going to be worked in half double crochets. You are going to have a pattern repeat, so that's going to consist of 3 half double crochets and then a half double crochet increase. Repeat that all the way down, and that is going to give you a total of 20 half double crochet stitches for round 3. And just to give you a glimpse of what it should be looking like so far. All right, so chain 2 and turn. That's not going to count as a stitch. You're going to work a double crochet, and then you're going to work a increase. So that's 2 double crochets into the same stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way down, and that's going to leave you with a total of 30 double crochets for round 4. All right, we are finally going to join this together. So we are going to join with a slip stitch. And this is going to get us to round 5. So you're going to chain 2, does not count as a stitch, and you're going to work a double crochet into each stitch all the way around. And that's going to leave you with a total of 30 double crochets for round 5. So as you see here, we're almost done, and now we are going to join with a slip stitch, and we are again going to chain 2, which is not going to count as a stitch. For rounds 6 through 7, you're going to repeat round 5, 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way around. So go ahead and continue working up rounds 6 through 7. Remember to slip stitch, chain 2, and that doesn't count as a stitch. And then I will meet you back at the end of round 7. All right, so for round 8, this is our last round. Chain 1, and then we are going to work a half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. You are going to want to join with a slip stitch, and then you are going to want to leave, cut off your yarn and leave a long enough tail just to kind of weave in those ends. All right, so now we're going to be doing some detail. So make sure that you leave a good 8 inches before we get started. So as you join with this slip stitch, you're joining in from the back side of the dress. And that tail is going to be what you tie the dress with. And so what we're going to be doing is working slip stitches in this top row of the dress, but from the back side. So that's going to create that stitching effect. The video is sped up here just a little bit, but as I continue talking, I'm going to slow it down so that you could get a better idea of what I'm talking about. So you are working a slip stitch from the back side of the dress into each stitch all the way across, which creates that really cute stitching effect on the front. All right, so I'm just going to continue slip stitching all the way down to the other side. I'm going to leave this part of the video a little slower. That way, if you need to watch it for a little bit more help, I hope that helps. But I think I'm going to speed it up now so that we can get to the end of the round. And so what we're going to be doing next is we are going to be fastening off. So you're going to want to leave again around 8 inches so that you have a tie, and you are going to slip stitch and pull that tight. Go on to the other side and secure another slip stitch right there. You might have to play around with it a little bit. And that is the dress. Look at that cute little stitching. And now you are able to remove the dress, and then you are able to tie a little bow in the back. So that you could take the dress on and off. So let's go ahead and try it on. I am so excited. So what I like to do is undo the bow, and you're gonna shimmy the dress up and insert the arms into the armholes and get it nice and adjusted. Bring it up just a little bit higher so that it covers that top section, and turn your doll around. And then just kind of move the hair out of the way and take those tails or the ties, and then you could create a cute little bow. You could play around with it so that the bow can look a little bit cuter, but then that way the dress is nice and secure. So there's so many options that you could do with this, but I just kind of wanted to start with that. You guys, we are done. We have completed our doll. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and let's go ahead and go on to the outro. A big thank you to everyone who has made it to the end of this video. I hope that this was a helpful tutorial for you all. If you guys made any of these dolls, please tag me on Instagram and let me see all the creations that you guys have made. Again, it is so fun to make these with you, and I hope that you like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That way I know that you guys like it. Also, hit that notification bell. That way you could be notified anytime I come out with a new video. And as always, I look forward to crocheting with you guys again next time.